Monday. It's Monday. Hi, everyone. Welcome to UCTV. Today is Monday. I'm your host, Amanda Letois, and we're going to talk more about LGBT community and what we need to know moving forward for discrimination and politics. Everything. Community, just go everything that you need to know for the community. If you are looking for help, what is open and what is not, go to the community resource on unitycoalition.org. And remember, every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday, we are here to give you the best news and also a little bit of entertainment. And this handsome man, Tony Lima from Ariana Center. Tony, thank you so much, and thank you for joining us.
It's my absolute pleasure to join you. I think it's such an important topic, especially as we near, one of the biggest election years of our lives. It's an important thing to talk about, and I think we have a set of really great guests today, people that are actively working day to day within the political process, and I'm super excited to get the show rolling. So, thank you for having me, Sammy.
Thank you so much, Tommy. As you said, this is a great opportunity just to have a panel discussion what's going on, and we have the best guests today. So, Robin, welcome to UCTV today, Monday, ladies and gentlemen. And also, we have the beautiful Patricia. You guys, thank you so much for joining us, and welcome to UCTV. How's everything? Patricia?
Yes, thank you so much for having me. I'm so thankful to be asked about this topic because I think it's something that's so relevant for our community now. We've gotten some really great decisions that I'm looking forward to discuss with everyone.
And
I can hear you now.
Yeah, I think there's a
I don't
little
know
bit
if
of
you,
a
Robin, can
delay.
hear me. Just check it out. Huh?
Go
Oh,
on.
okay, perfect, perfect. Patricia, let's start. Just yes.
You're
Okay,
breaking
let's
up a
start
little
and
bit,
move
Sam.
forward. I don't know if
You're breaking up on your. I'm not sure if it's on my
I
end or
don't know if
your
you
end.
can hear me now.
I can hear you now.
I don't know if you can see me now. Oh,
I
okay,
can.
perfect. Let's gonna start for each of you guys. Let's make a little interview of each of you and what you work and what you're doing for the community. Let's start with Tony Lima from Ariana Center.
So I'm super excited to be talking about this topic because I've dedicated the last several years of my life to the political process, to work in politics at all levels of government here in Florida. And I'm excited that the folks that have joined us today, that include Robin Schwartz and Patricia Hernandez, are two of my closest colleagues. Like, these are the people that I am in the trenches with. Pretty much sometimes on a day-to-day basis, and we've known each other for a few years, and we're great friends, and we all have a great level of respect for each other. So now, in my capacity at Ariana Center as the CEO, over the last about year at this point, we've added a layer of advocacy to the organization's already existing series of services that we provide to the transgender community, most specifically transgender women of color, with a focus on the Latinx community. So we added this layer of advocacy. We've started a program called the April Project, where we train trans women of color. And Sammy, you know this project well because you're one of our participants. We train trans women of color to basically speak to their elected officials. And this past January, we took
Absolutely.
a group of 22 trans women of color to Tallahassee to speak to their elected officials. And Sammy, you were one of them. And we had a really a historic moment, you know, walking through the Capitol and having all of these trans Latinas and trans Black women come in and really speak about the needs of the trans community. So it's an exciting time for all of us, as Patricia mentioned before. Um,
Yes.
we've had a series of decisions that we absolutely have to talk about, which are becoming like the ground level, if you will, the sowing the seeds as we head into this major election in August and then November. So with that, I would love to throw it to our
Absolutely.
two
It was
guests. Since
amazing
I'm
for me just to
technically
be a part and make.
go ahead, Sammy, go ahead.
Don't worry so much, ladies and gentlemen. Get Tony Lima from Hernandez Center. But let's continue this conversation with these two amazing guests today. And the other one is Patricia. Patricia, let's start you. Community and give me a little introduction about yourself.
Well, hi, Sam. Thank you once again for having me. My name is Patricia Hernandez. I'm an immigration attorney with the law offices of Rotella and Hernandez. Our office is 100% lesbian owned. I own the office with my partner, Nora Rotella, who does family law. So at our office, we focus exclusively on immigration and family law. With that, obviously, my part of it comes, I've worked very closely with Tony and Robin on various organizations. I'm also a board member of the Aqua Foundation for Women, and most recently, also a board member with the Miami-Dade County LGBTQ Advisory Board. So a lot of my work revolves around LGBTQ rights and immigration. So throughout my career, I've represented lots of trans folks with regards to seeking asylum in the US, as well as LGBTQ folks seeking asylum. I've also done a lot of same-sex marriage petitions. Here in our office, we've also done second parent adoptions, and that's what we do. And we're obviously we also work closely with, trying to help pass legislation that's beneficial to our community.
Let's talk. Tell me about yourself and what you're doing for that community.
I couldn't really hear you. Did you ask me that question? Is that for me?
Yeah,
Yes.
just go ahead and
Yes,
give an
it was
intro,
for
Robin.
you, Robin. Yes. Where a little introduction about
I think it
yourself.
is.
Yes.
So my name is Robin Schwartz. I'm with Equality Florida. I'm also on the same board with Tony and Patricia for the Miami-Dade County LGBTQ Advisory Board. I am the chair of the City of Miami Beach's LGBTQ Advisory Board or Committee. I'm a proud founder of Aqua Foundation, so very involved in the community. Happy to be here today. With Equality Florida. Equality Florida is the state's LGBTQ advocacy organization, and we do a lot, but I'll try to condense it real quickly here. We have HIV and trans advocacy. We have Safe and Healthy Schools program, which goes into the schools across the state, works with the everybody from teachers to superintendents to work on policies and trainings to make LGBTQ students have a welcoming environment within the school system. We're leaders on the intersection of LGBTQ and racial justice. We do a lot of work within the political space. We have a PACT, which does endorsements. And then our big push right now is to get folks out to vote, to get folks registered to vote, via mail, and then also any other way. So right now, if you go to honorthemwithaction.org, that's honorthemwithaction.org. If you're not already registered, please click there and get registered. And if you're already registered, but you're not registered to vote by mail, please go there and do that as well. You can also register to volunteer with us if you want to be a part of the movement to get folks out to vote in this very important election. Thank you.
I know that is very important. Robin, now that you mentioned this, I would like to ask you and start with this panel discussion. How important it is to have openly LGBT politicals?
I'm sorry, but I can't hear you.
Okay, let's just figure it out. Tony, did you hear me what I said? That my question is how important it is to have openly LGBT politicals.
Sammy, it's important for us as a community to see
Can you
ourselves.
answer that question?
Yeah, gladly. And I'm sure that everyone has a perspective as well. But what I wanted to start off by saying is that it's important for the LGBTQ community, for our community, to see themselves represented in elected office. So while for many, many years we've had many allies in the community that have represented us well and have led us to create legislation at the local, at the state, and at the congressional level that protects our community, it's really important for us to be able to see openly LGBTQ elected officials at all levels of government. I think one of the most important things that I was involved in my career was so far was helping elect our state's first openly gay state legislator, which was David Richardson, who was fantastic because he was able to bridge the divide between Republicans and Democrats by working in a very, very clever way throughout several terms in order to not only represent the LGBTQ community as a whole, but really represent his constituency well. And I think he's one of our guests coming up on Wednesday, so it's going to be great to hear from him. But I think to answer your question, representation matters in every sector. And when it comes to politics and when it comes to elected office, we absolutely have to see people there. We have to have people represent us, especially in this day and age. I mean, it's been a very, very grim world for the last arguably the last 4 years, as we've seen the rolling back of rights, the almost celebration of, racism and all sorts of isms that include, discrimination against the LGBTQ community, until the beginning of last week, that we started to have some changes in it with the Supreme Court. And I know that Patty is really anxious to talk about those things, so I'm not going to say anything else. But I think it's an exciting time as we lead up to this 2020 election, not only because we do have a series of elected officials that are openly LGBTQ, but also because we're now seeing that the Supreme Court continues to support us. It started 5 years ago with same-sex marriage, and now it continues with workplace protection and a series of other topics that Patty will mention in just a little bit. And I guess that's a good segue. Patty, do you want to jump into it and answer that question from your perspective?
Sure. So, yes, I'm very anxious to talk about the Supreme Court decision. So, as many of us know, the Supreme Court last Monday ruled on a 6-3 decision. The federal employment law safeguards gay and transgender employees from discrimination. This lawsuit was brought under Title VII. And I don't want to be the bearer of bad news, but as great as this decision is, I think part of our panel discussion was to focus on what are some of the things that we need to do moving forward. So this, like you said earlier, Tony, is the groundwork for where we need to build, because this decision doesn't include, I was reading reports in preparation for this panel, and it doesn't include small businesses. So that's usually defined under federal law as businesses of less than 50 employees. And 1 in 6 folks, transgender folks, LGBTQ folks, are employed by small businesses. So this decision, if you were to be dismissed from employment in a small business, this decision would not apply to any of the small businesses. So there's work to do. I think this would be the stepping stone for Congress to go ahead and close up that little loophole with regards to small businesses and actually implement legislation that extends the Supreme Court decision also to small businesses. Additionally, I did want to mention that the Supreme Court in their next term, which starts in October, is going to be looking at a very important decision that I think could either make this current decision that just passed expand to additional protections or actually shrink the protections. And that case is a case that the Supreme Court will take on with regards to the scope of religious right exceptions in certain federal law. So what does that mean? Well, the Supreme Court is going to look at whether to expand the ability of individuals, businesses such as small businesses, and organizations to cite religious beliefs when contesting government actions, such as enforcement of any anti-discrimination law. So the case to be looking out for is called Fulton versus City of Philadelphia. Basically, what happened here is that the City of Philadelphia excluded a Catholic adoption agency from its foster care system because it refused to work with LGBTQ couples. So the City of Philadelphia said, well, that violates the anti-discrimination, so we are not going to allow you to work with us with regards to foster children. Well, the Catholic adoption agency sued, and now we're at the Supreme Court. So that's something to look out for. I think that's going to be a very important decision to be looked at. And also with regards to the decision that just passed, that decision also doesn't deal with bias in housing and education. And so with regards to housing and education, they haven't interpreted the rule as covering sexual orientation and gender identity. So I think also that's where the rule needs to be expanded to include that. So definitely, this is to go along with what Robin said, is so important that we vote in November. Right now, our Supreme Court is divided 5 conservative, 4 liberals. For the 6-3 decision, we had 2 conservatives joining us. And that was important, but I don't know that that would definitely be the case with regards to the November decision. I mean, we have to keep in mind that we have Justice Kavanaugh and Justice Gorsuch, who in the past have shown sympathy towards the religious liberty claims. So that is something that we need to keep in mind, that the fight is not over and we need to be very vocal with regards to that Supreme Court case that's going to be coming down. The decision, I believe, there'll be arguments they'll take up in October, but the decision will likely come in July of next year of 2021. I also wanted to talk with regards to the trans health rights decision. Well, not decision, but that the Trump administration, the new rule that the Trump administration handed down on Friday. And basically, this rule would remove non-discriminatory protections for LGBTQ folks when it comes to healthcare and health insurance. Basically, what happened here is that the Trump administration is rolling back a 2016 Obama era protection that basically expanded the definition under the Affordable Care Act to for undersex to include male, female, neither, or a combination of male and female, which basically included trans folks and anybody with regards to their gender identity. The Trump administration rolled that back and said, well, no, when we talk about sex discrimination, it only is to apply when someone faces discrimination based on being female or male, which basically means that they've excluded our trans community. So just to give an example to the audience, that would mean that, for example, a transgender person could be refused care just at a doctor's checkup. More importantly, and other possible scenarios that I've read online is that there could be, for example, a transgender man could be denied treatment by their insurance company for ovarian cancer, or a hysterectomy might not be covered by an insurer. So this is a big issue with regards to this transgender health issue that obviously is going to be litigated. As a matter of fact, today I know Lambda Legal filed a lawsuit with regards to this new rule by the Trump administration, and I really do hope that we persevere in winning. I know, Tony, I believe Ariana is one of the named plaintiffs of the lawsuit. Maybe you can talk to us a little bit more about what Ariana's claim, I guess, in the lawsuit is, if you have any knowledge of that.
Sure. So I'm not sure that I'm back yet, but I'll answer your question.
Okay.
So Ariana Center, as an affiliate of the Trans Latina Coalition, is, as an organization, one of the affiliates to the plaintiff in the case. Ariana specifically is on there as a transgender woman of color who needs healthcare because she's openly living with HIV. Right. So what we've tried to do with this lawsuit in conjunction with Lambda Legal is to try to give, again, representation matters, to try to give a face, a name, a story, to really bring this lawsuit to life, so that, when Trump says something ridiculous, like we're going to deny healthcare to our transgender community, and a big part of the country is like, I don't even know what that means. Well, now they'll be able to see what it means. It means human beings. It means people that are living their lives just like everybody else, people that need healthcare just like everybody else, and really bringing that human tone to the legal jargon, if you will, that's involved in a lawsuit. And I think that's what's most exciting for us. Hopefully, we prevail in some capacity,
Right.
but just bringing this kind of attention and really being able to stand up against the administration is huge, right? It's huge within itself. And Robin
Right.
is just sitting there, and I feel like, Sammy, I feel like we need to go to Robin.
No worries.
So Robin, talk to us about that.
Is someone going to ask me a
well.
question?
Yeah, talk to us about
Yes.
that. A question came in, and I want to look to the questions that are coming into our live feed. They asked us, how does someone get more involved in local politics, maybe even run for office? So do you want to take that, Robin?
You probably can answer that even better than I can, Tony. I was hoping to talk more about the case, the LGBTQ decision by the Supreme Court. Can I talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Go for it.
I'm not sure why, but I don't hear anybody.
we really want to know your opinion about this. Is like a matter for all LGBT community.
I did not hear what you said. Do you hear me? I'm just going to talk a little
Yes,
bit.
I can hear you.
I can't hear you guys. So I think what's important regarding the LGBTQ Supreme Court ruling is a few things. Obviously, Patricia spoke to some of them, but one thing that I don't think a lot of people realize is that it covered employment only. And so unfortunately, one could be protected at work and then walk out the door and try to use a public bathroom and have issues, or go home to their apartment and find out they were kicked out just for being LGBTQ. So it's really important that we understand that while this is something to be celebrated, we still have a long way to go, a lot of work to do.
Yes.
So it's really important that I'll go back to the elections again, because for me this year, everything is about the elections, because what's happening in our world is strongly, it's happening because of who's in power, right? Who sits in the offices where these decisions are made. So I'm going to encourage everybody again to get out and vote. If you believe that we deserve all our rights, get out and vote, not just for president, but also for all the local politicians, all the local offices, because right here in Florida, in many of the cities that we live in, we are not protected either. And there's currently a bill in Florida called the Florida Competitive Work Act that should be passed, which would then protect us against discrimination within our workplace and also public accommodations and housing. And right now we can't even get it heard because of who's in charge of having those things heard. So really important who we elect. Please, if you haven't registered, go to honorthemwithaction.org. I know I keep repeating it, but it's so important that everybody is registered and registered to vote by mail, especially this year with COVID, so that you can do so safely. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out to any of us. But really important that you vote this year more than ever before. Thank you very much.
Now that you mentioned this, Robin, I would like to ask you this, like that now that you're talking about politics and everything, is the party affiliation. It is important. It needs to be important to be a party affiliation.
Are you asking if being a Democrat or a Republican matters? That's what you mean?
Yeah, because maybe the question is like, it is necessary for me to vote just to have a party affiliation if I want to feel it with them.
So I'm not sure if I understand the question exactly, but we don't promote whether someone should be Democrat or Republican. What we care about is their policy positions, right? So no matter what you would, whether you're Democrat,
Okay.
Republican, or independent, it's what are your policies? So when it goes to endorsements, that's what we care about. And when we're registering to vote, I think that people can register in whatever way they want. It's important that they understand that when the primaries come, you're only allowed to vote in the primaries, typically within your own party. So if you're a registered Democrat, you're only going to be able to vote for Democrats in the primaries. But in the general election, you can vote for whoever you think the best candidate is. I hope that answers your question.
Okay, we just, yes, of course. Let's open the question. I just put it out because there are so many Latin community right here, like an example that maybe we don't know what to do because we are new in the country. So now that we are getting in everything just to get our vote right there and be count, this is a great question just to get our mind a little clearly. Tony, me gustaría preguntarte en español esto para nuestra comunidad latina. ¿Cuál es tu recomendación para aquellas personas que están nuevos aquí en el sur de la Florida y que queremos envolvernos en la comunidad, en estar más pendiente de lo que nos afecta a todos y cada uno de nosotros? Especialmente en estos momentos de que estamos bastante discriminación.
Sí, sabes algo, Sammy, que estamos viviendo unos momentos, yo diría que de crisis en este país, ¿verdad? Y creo que todos tenemos la responsabilidad como ciudadanos, y si no somos ciudadanos y solamente somos residentes, también hay cosas que podemos hacer. Si uno es ciudadano, uno debe absolutamente inscribirse a votar y tener pendiente cuándo son las elecciones. Uno de los problemas más grandes que tenemos en este país es que hay muchas personas, Sammy, que no salen a votar, ¿verdad? problema con
No sé si seguimos escuchando a Tony. Justamente en estas áreas de Miami, everybody, just let me tell you that this is live and things. Oh, Tony, you're back.
También te quiero decir los de trabajo que están postulados para alguna silla en la playa ahí. For like 5 minutes, gave that whole thing, Sammy. Did you hear me at all?
Claro que sí, te escuchamos una gran parte de lo que estaba diciendo. We hear a little bit of part of what you were saying. It's just like everybody needs to know that this is live and things happen, but we are here just to have communication with you. Tony, mientras tanto, ahora sí me puedes escuchar. Patricia and Robin, you guys can hear me perfectly? Ok, Patricia, te quiero hacer la misma pregunta en español, si no las puedes... Si me estás escuchando.
I'm muted.
Exacto.
Ok, ahorita yo creo que ya mi volumen está. Ok. Una de las cosas que yo he visto en parte de mi trabajo es, yo obvio me dedico mucho a ayudar a personas a sacar la ciudadanía y obvio mi posición no es explicar las pólizas y la política en los Estados Unidos, pero yo creo que la comunidad, las personas que yo he ayudado, fueran bien que se educaran un poco sobre cómo es la estructura de, por ejemplo, del gobierno, digamos, si vivo en la Florida, cómo es que se estructura el gobierno, cuál es la posición del gobernador, qué es los poderes que tiene el gobernador, qué son los poderes que tienen las personas que son elegidas a la oficina, los senadores, los representantes de la Cámara, qué es lo que ellos tienen, qué es la responsabilidad de ellos. ¿Y cuál es la responsabilidad de las cortes? Yo creo que básicamente muchas personas no entienden que normalmente en el gobierno estatal y federal hay tres ramas del gobierno. Tenemos el ejecutivo, que es el gobernador, el presidente en la parte federal, que son las personas que van a firmar las leyes, que le van a hacer las propuestas. Y tenemos también los senadores, que son la parte de la casa, y el Congreso, que ellos son los que van a proponer leyes, que van a estudiar las leyes y después las mandan al presidente o al gobernador, si fuera en el estado. ¿Y qué es el trabajo de las cortes? Las cortes interpretan esas leyes para ver si son constitucionales. Entonces, es importante entender las diferentes partes. También saber que en los Estados Unidos tenemos dos partidos, los demócratas y los republicanos, educarnos de qué son las propuestas de los demócratas. Los republicanos no solo oír, pero yo oí que los demócratas son socialistas, entonces yo vine de un gobierno socialista en mi país y yo no voy a votar demócrata porque ellos son socialistas. Bueno, pero piensa un poco, ¿quién está diciendo que los demócratas son socialistas? ¿Será que son otras personas del otro partido que es lo que tú quieres que tú pienses? Lo que hay que hacer es estudiar y aprender, educarnos nosotros para tomar la decisión mejor que podamos basado en nuestros principales y las personas que nosotros amamos, que queremos proteger. Por ejemplo, si yo, por ejemplo, mi mamá, yo sé que mi mamá siempre considera mucho que la persona que ella vaya a votar, que quiera dar protecciones a las personas de nuestra comunidad LGBTQ, porque ella tiene su hija, que soy yo, que es una lesbiana. Eso es importante para ella. Yo creo que es importante educarse, sería yo más lo que le diría a las personas. Y obvio, en educarse van a tener que leer bastante. Si hay preguntas, definitivamente, como en estos paneles que hacemos, hacer las preguntas que tengas de algo específico que tú de pronto leíste y no entendiste o quieres un poco más de clarificación.
Correcto. Muchísimas gracias, Patricia, por esa información. Now I would like to ask you something, Tony, can you hear me now? I know that Tommy can't hear me very well. You know, this is raining right now. So now I want to ask you this to Robin. Robin, can you hear me? I think that the only one can hear me is Patricia. I know that you still can hear me.
Yeah, I can still hear you.
Okay, just let me ask you this, Patricia. Okay, so here's your questions. What we can do when politicals don't do what they promise?
Well, I think we need to hold them accountable. That's one of the things. If they promised something and they didn't do it, we need to hold them accountable. We need to call them out and basically say, hey, listen, you promised this, you didn't do this. Definitely take advantage, right, to your representatives. They have, like, if you go online and you just search for their contact information, send them. And anytime that you want something to happen or you have a position on something that's going to come before them, be sure to voice that, write to them and say, hey, listen, I ask you to please strongly approve whatever proposition it is. I want there, for example, locally now there's a big push to have a police oversight board. If your position is that the police should have a independent oversight board, then you should write to your commissioners. You should tell them, I am fully for having this oversight board. I believe you should support this, and give them reasons why they should support it. Not just say, I'm your constituents, you should support this. Give them the reasons why this is good policy. Why is this good for the community? How does this personally affect you? Like Tony said, back to the like putting a human story to things. Like, how is it if you take the opposite position? How would that affect me or affect my loved ones? And we don't want that to happen. So it's very important that you communicate to your local officials. And also, it doesn't hurt to tell them, hey, I'm your constituents and I believe you should take this position, because I think in that way you're letting them know that, hey, if I'm a voter, and if you continue to do things that really harm my community, I might not vote for you next time. Something like that. I think that's very important, just to communicate with your local officials and write to them and tell them, take this position, this is a position. Another important thing is that, with the newspaper, there's always, you can always write an op-ed about something. And that's very important, because if it gets published, then people get to see a different point of view that maybe they never thought about. Once again, bringing a human story to the policies that are being passed, and, the rules that officials are making.
So thank you, Patricia, for that information. With that question, I would like to say thank you so much for joining us. I know that you've been busy. I know you've been getting a lot of phone calls, because this is the time, just everybody getting there and everything. I would like to continue to invite you for the next time you join UCTV, my love. So thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome. Have a great day. So for now, we're going to continue with Robin and Tony Lima. Robin, I would like to ask you the same questions. How can we get involved in the political? So what we can do when politicals, they don't do what they promise?
Hi. So look, at the end of the day, they're only in office if we vote them in. So they care very much what we each think. And it's especially what we think when we're in quantity, right? In numbers. So that's why peaceful protests that we've been seeing are so powerful, because they can see there's quantity, right? Everybody's saying Black Lives Matters and we need to make some changes. So they're listening. So what Patricia said was right on. Contact your political folks, send them emails, call them. They all have answering machines where you can leave your points of view. Go to their Facebook pages. Everybody knows social media matters, Twitter, Instagram. Contact them. Support organizations like Equality Florida, because that's what we do. That's part of what we do, is we have folks in Tallahassee directly making conversations and having conversations with everybody, telling them and holding them accountable. But at the end of the day, it's all about voting. So keep coming back to that, because that's the way the Constitution was written, is that's how we individuals have power, right? We don't have a lot of power when we're just in our everyday, but we do when it comes time to vote. So again, peaceful protests, reach out, support organizations that do the work for all of us and represent us in Tallahassee and federally, and vote, 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 vote. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Robin, for that information. As you guys hear, vote. It's important to vote. With that announced, I would like to introduce my new guest. It's Ruby Coronado from Casa Ruby, and let's say welcome to Ruby Coronado. And at the same time, I would like to say, Robin, thank you so much for everything that you're doing for my community, for the LGBT community, and thank you so much for joining us. And thank you. I hope to see you next time on UCTV. With that being said, remember, free produce giveaway, distribución de comidas y verduras gratis. Este miércoles 24 desde la 1 hasta las 5 de la tarde o hasta que se acaben la mercancía. From 1 to 5 p.m. or until everything is run out. Walk in, drive through, or drive in. Enter through the Miami Beach Community Church parking lot. Accessible via Pennsylvania Avenue on Lincoln Lane South. Physical distancing, it is necessary, honey. Just remember, this is not over. Just put your mask on. And the event is, this everything is possible by Commissioner Halen Higgins, Transsocial, Miami Beach Community Church, and of course, Unity Coalition, Coalición Unida. If you want to get more information about distribution for food, go to the website unitycoalition.org. Ruby Coronado, beautiful woman, welcome to UCTV today on this panel discussion Monday with the hands-on Tony Lima. Yes, Ruby, I can hear you.
Can you hear
me?
Ruby,
thank you so much. Just give me a little introduction. Yes, I can hear very well. Just give me a little introduction, what you do for the community, and who's Ruby Coronado from Casa Ruby.
Okay, yes. My name is Ruby Corado, and I run an organization called Casa Ruby. I am the founder, and I am the director. And Casa Ruby is a community dream, is a place where the LGBTQ community can come together. But I also have a special love for the LGBTQ people that are in need. So as we know by now, right, after Stonewall, after the riots in New York City, some people were able to achieve some level of, some people actually were able to achieve equality to a certain level, and some people continue to struggle, right? So some of those people are the ones that I like to take care of. Those are homeless people, those are sex workers, those are people who are still drug addicts, those are the people that are unemployed, the people that are in need. Immigrants, because now we are having a bigger conversation about immigrants. We're having a conversation about young people, seniors. So those are the people that come together in Casa Ruby. And when I say I take care of them, we also have housing. So some of those individuals live at Casa Ruby. We have about 100 beds. So every night people get to sleep and live in Casa Ruby. And we have different programs. We have HIV prevention. Most of the programs are really to help people overcome, right? I myself came to Washington, D.C. in the late 80s, and I was a homeless youth. And throughout my life, you know, I had situations. Sometimes I had a lot, sometimes I didn't have much. And 11 years ago, once again, I was homeless. So I am a big advocate for homeless, LGBTQ, because I believe those are the people who truly need the support. Those are the people that really don't have a lot. So today, you know, I'm also an advocate for a lot of people, but I am a big caregiver for homeless people.
Okay, so thank you so much, Ruby, for that. We really love you. We always enjoy every time that you're here with us. Tony, I know that you have a few questions, or maybe you have something that you want to add to Ruby or want to ask to Ruby. I don't know if you can hear me.
I can hear you, but I did not hear Tony.
Oh yeah, we can hear you, but we can hear Tony. So let's continue. Ruby, I would like to ask you this while Tony, while
Se ve divina. Divina, la última vez.
Thank you so much. You do as well. Así, belleza, diva, incluyente.
Claro.
Ruby, quisiera preguntarte algo. ¿Cómo crees tú que la política afecta justamente en estos momentos a la comunidad? ¿Cuáles son los problemas que estamos afectando, aparte de lo que ya vimos el viernes, que las nuevas restricciones para nuestra comunidad transgénero? So, coméntame personalmente, ¿cuáles crees tú que son las dificultades que estamos enfrentando en estos momentos referente a las políticas para nuestra comunidad LGBTQ+?
Sí, y voy a ser muy directa porque me encanta su plataforma, me encanta su programa y creo que lo deberíamos de distribuir por todo el país. La gente tiene que saber de estas conversaciones que se están teniendo. Primero que nada, no quiero insultar a nadie, ¿verdad? Porque esto no es un insulto, pero yo sí creo que la comunidad latina, particularmente, estamos ignorantes de lo que significa ser LGBTQ y ser parte de la política de este país. Y muchas veces no sabemos hay gente que sabe del presidente porque el presidente sale todos los días haciendo diferentes insultos o narrativas, pero hay mucha gente que no sabe quién es su congresista, no sabe quién es el comisionado, hay gente que no sabe, simplemente viven en este país, pero yo te voy a decir, ¿saben quién es la drag queen? ¿Saben quién es la que ganó RuPaul? ¿Saben quién es la loca que da show? ¿Saben? Mira, mi amor,
claro.
Toda la vida. Entonces, yo quiero tomar este momento para decirle a nuestra comunidad latina, a la gente que me sigue, la gente que me está viendo, que me va a ver, que tenemos que cambiar esta cultura. A veces como latinos, como gay latinos, como lesbianas, como bisexuales y trans, nos enfocamos más en el bochinche, nos enfocamos más en el tiki-tiki, sabemos todo lo que está pasando en la novela, porque hay muchas noveleras, yo las conozco a todas. Sé que hay una niña me estaba diciendo el sábado, niña, yo veo, ella me desconectó un meeting porque dijo que tenía 4 novelas que iba a ver. Entonces yo creo que tenemos que hacer este cambio, porque la realidad es, ¿qué fue lo que pasó cuando Stonewall, ¿verdad? Que fue lo que ahora le conocemos como el Día del Orgullo Gay, comenzó con una revolución. Esta fue una pelea contra la policía y eventualmente, a través de los años, los blancos y ciertos morenos y unos puertorriqueños comenzaron a hablar de política. ¿Cómo vamos a cambiar? Y uno de los primeros políticos en todo Estados Unidos fue el señor Harvey Milk. ¿Cuánta gente sabe el nombre de Harvey Milk, right? Aunque le voy a decir, habían políticos gays antes de Harvey Milk, en California, en San Diego, Arriaza, o sea, pero la historia no nos hace que escupamos de eso. Yo creo que en cuestiones de política estamos ignorantes. ¿Y qué tan importante es? Mira, yo no soy política electa, pero yo vivo en Washington, D.C., donde es un movimiento político. Yo me recuerdo andar en la calle, ¿verdad? Porque yo he sido parquera. A mí me gustaba andar en los parques y yo veía que ahí llegaban los políticos y decían, ¿en qué les podemos ayudar? ¿Qué necesitan? ¿Qué vamos a hacer? ¿Qué es lo que no tienen? ¿Qué es? Entonces yo dije, bueno, nos tienen que escuchar porque a pesar de que para mí en el mundo perfecto, la comunidad latina tuviera sus propios políticos electos. Esto quiere decir que tuviéramos senadores, que tuviéramos congresistas, que tuviéramos comisionados, que tuviéramos un presidente latino y que fuera gay, lesbiana, bisexual o trans. Pero mientras tanto, mientras este momento llega, tenemos que hablar con los que ya están. Y en este momento, ahí es donde a veces no utilizamos nuestro poder como comunidad, porque muchos de los políticos no nos conocen. Yo he tratado de hacer un poco de este cambio y, interesantemente, que hace como 2 semanas anuncié algo. Quizás en el futuro, en mi carrera, no sé, puede haber algo, pero definitivamente la política es esencial. Y necesitamos, porque a través de, por ejemplo, como dijo la persona que estaba anteriormente, ¿cómo podemos hacer este cambio? Los políticos siempre nos han hecho promesas, pero a veces no las cumplen. ¿Y cómo vamos a hacer que las cumplan cuando vayamos a votar, verdad? Y a veces hay personas que no pueden votar, pero sabes que tienen un maridito. Yo conozco muchas locas que están en Grindr, que están bueno, no voy a dar la lista de todos, en Badoo, en Facebook, y sabe que tenemos un maridito por ahí, por allá, y entonces viene y le dice el sugar daddy, le dice, mire mi amor, a mi sugar daddy, tú le puedes decir, mire, ¿usted por quién vota? Porque el señor de que está allá y sabe que si usted es el marido de una de estas loquitas, porque a las locas latinas les encantan, bueno, hay una diversidad, pero tienen su marido gringuito o tienen su morenito. Y si nosotras no votamos, sabe que vote el marido. Si nosotras no votamos, que vote el vecino. Definitivamente a alguien conocemos porque vivimos en este país, alguien tiene que votar. Mi hija que está en Houston, Texas, decía, nosotras a lo mejor no votemos como translatinas que somos en Houston, Texas, pero cada una de nosotros conoce por lo menos 100 personas, mínimo 100 personas, y ellos sí votan. Imagínate los números.
Otra cosa, si pudiera añadir a lo que dijo Ruby ahora mismo, y perdonen que he entrado y salido. Pero Sammy, quería decir otra cosa.
No te preocupes.
¿Pero me oyes ahora?
Sí.
Te escucho perfectamente. Te escuchamos perfectamente.
Perfecto. Mira, lo que quería añadir a lo que está diciendo Ruby, y Ruby es un ícono en nuestra comunidad. Honestamente, ha hecho tanto trabajo y gracias a Dios, últimamente acaba de abrir un centro completo, ¿no? Para la comunidad completa, que es tan importante. Pero lo que quería decir es que si uno no tiene la posibilidad de votar, porque no es ciudadano, solamente es residente, o posiblemente está aquí ilegal, otra cosa que se puede hacer es también conocer los políticos que están postulados para cualquier oficio electo y apoyarlos, ayudarlos a tocar puertas, a pasar flyers, como dijo Ruby, lo que hay que hacer es dar la información, ¿no? Se puede hacer eso también, aunque uno no pueda votar porque no tiene la posibilidad, apúntense para ayudar a un electo que nos ha ayudado a todos en algún momento a que siga en su posición, o si hay alguna persona que se ha postulado que es una buena persona, que tiene a los inmigrantes en mente, tiene a la comunidad LGBT en mente, tiene a la comunidad transgénero enfocadamente, es importante que los apoyemos a ellos también. Y si no podemos votar, podemos ayudar a que otras personas voten por ellos. Y creo que eso también es sumamente importante, especialmente en estos momentos en este país. Estamos viviendo una crisis increíble. Es importante que todos hagamos todo lo que podamos para salir bien en las elecciones y tener personas que nos representen.
Una preguntita. ¿El programa está en vivo en Facebook? Que no lo veo.
Excelente. Claro que sí.
¿Alguien me puede...?
Claro que sí, lo tenemos en Facebook. Gracias por recordarnos todo esto. Para todas las personas que nos están viendo, sí, claro que sí, te iba a responder la pregunta. Para ti, para todas las personas que nos están viendo del habla latina, nuestro programa de Unity Coalition se encuentra los lunes, miércoles y viernes a las 4 de la tarde en el fanpage del Facebook, y nos pueden seguir a las 5 de la tarde en nuestro canal de YouTube y en el Instagram TV. Recuerden que los viernes va a ser de UCTV y es mucho más entretenimiento, diversión y YouTube, porque los viernes de Tiene Talento son en UCTV. Continuando para todos ustedes, chicos, Ruby y Tony Lima, déjenme decirles, yo más que nada en mi comunidad latina, de nuestra comunidad transgénero, estamos más felices de tenerlos aquí a ustedes, de saber más de Hay muchas de nosotros que estamos callados y muchas estamos calladas por no saber lo que tenemos que hacer, por no saber porque no tenemos, hay veces, una documentación o un estatus. Si queremos hombres y toda esta comunidad latina de que su estatus inmigratorio no le cohíbe a usted de que tenga un maltrato verbal o psicológico discriminativo. Usted también tiene derechos en nuestra comunidad. Por eso aquí les dejo la información en Lima para que ustedes lo puedan seguir en Ariana Center, los sociales en Ariana Center, Ruby Coronado, Casa Ruby, para que lo sepan también. Cualquier información que necesiten, discriminación y lo que sepan de la comunidad, aquí lo tienen ustedes. Antes de despedirme, ¿alguna otra pregunta, Tony, que quisieras hacerle a Ruby o una recomendación? Que sé que tú tienes una excelente recomendación para toda nuestra comunidad de aquí del sur de la Florida. Está sucediendo en estos momentos, especialmente en temporada de COVID.
Mira, gracias Sammy, gracias por invitarme a ser co-host contigo. Sabes que me encanta hablar
Ruby,
de estos
¿me estás escuchando entonces? ¿Y Tony?
Sí.
Sí.
¿Me oyes? Pero te quería
¿Alguna otra recomendación, Ruby? Ok.
Sí,
perfecto.
Y también Ruby dijo algo anteriormente, ¿verdad? Lo más importante que podemos hacer ahora.
Te escucho perfectamente.
Ok, es ayudar a las personas a que se inscriban a votar, ayudar a personas que conozcan cuáles son los tópicos que son vigentes en esta elección, como los tópicos de la inmigración, de la comunidad LGBTQ, y ayudar a ser agentes educativos para estas personas, ¿verdad? Todos tenemos una responsabilidad no solamente de votar, pero ayudar a educar a nuestro prójimo, especialmente las personas que no tienen los mismos recursos que tenemos nosotros, ¿no? Que es algo que he oído Ruby hablar mucho. El nivel de privilegio que tiene uno tiene que usarlo para ayudar a esos que no tienen tanto privilegio. Y creo que es importante que sigamos con esa mentalidad, que estamos aquí, especialmente ahora en estos momentos, para ayudarnos unos a otros, para apoyarnos y para ser agentes educativos.
Claro. Excelente.
Ruby, how about you? What would you like to share as a closing thought?
Tony y Ruby.
Sí, mira, creo
la recomendación.
Me encanta lo que
Tony, de un minuto antes de despedir.
Ok, me encanta lo que compartió Tony.
Lo que me gusta para nuestra comunidad LGBT
es que también podemos contribuir con dinero. Si las personas que no votamos contribuyamos a la campaña, porque le voy a decir, hay candidatos que a lo mejor saben que tú no vas a votar, no le tienes que decir, pero van a apreciar una donación. Ellos siempre saben quién le dio una donación. Así es que las drag queens, los chicos que hacemos show, todo el mundo, podemos contribuir, que diga, este dinero viene a nombre de la comunidad LGBT latina.
Un punto importantísimo, Ruby. Gracias por eso.
Excelente recomendación. Así que gracias por esa información y gracias a Ruby por colocarnos este punto. Por favor, colaboren a la persona que los va a representar a ustedes para que podamos tener cambios en nuestra comunidad. No siendo más, me gustaría decirles gracias a todos y cada uno de ustedes por hacer este programa dichoso, entretenimiento, pero sobre todo you all for your information. Thank you for joining us. Don't forget to follow us at unitycoalition.org and get registered to vote. Thank you all for watching us, and this is UCTV. See you on Wednesday for Food This Time. And that's in the meantime, mientras pasa el tiempo. Esta es la manera de cerrar un buen show, sin creer que somos perfectos. Gracias por vernos, gracias por querernos. Aquí estamos siempre contentos. ¡Yeah! Thank you all. See you Wednesday. No se olviden, el miércoles los veo, repartición de comida. Allá nos vemos el miércoles. Yes.